Hey, it's me again, and this is part 2 because the voice note got cut off, so I was saying this guy, Simon, said something that stayed with me. He said, you just need 1% in life, and honestly, I think that's so accurate. You just need 1%. It doesn't matter when they appear. It doesn't even necessarily have to be someone you've known for years. In fact, most likely it's going to be someone you never expected. A stranger, someone who appears in your life for one moment and somehow makes you feel seen. And that's exactly what happened to me. Yes, he was a police officer. That's not quite accurate. He had a higher position than that, and I believe he was also involved in behavior. Can't say it. Okay, let's try. And I believe he was also involved in behavioral analysis. I believe he was an analyst behavior. See, this is way easier for me to pronounce. Anyways, I don't know exactly what the equivalent title would be here in the UK, but he had years of experience. And I will never forget this man because, yes, he was doing his job, but he went out of his way. And I am not talking about something huge, inappropriate gesture. It was something much simpler. He looked at me and essentially said, I know who you are. I know you're the victim. I believe you. Not because he simply wanted to believe me, because he had done this for years, because he knew what he was listening to, and because what he was hearing was deeply disturbing. He told me, in essence, I have done this for years. I know what I am hearing. And I remember thinking, this man has probably heard everything. And yet he was telling me, I have never heard a story like this. 1%. That's the thing. Sometimes you don't need everyone to believe you. You don't need the entire world to understand. Sometimes you need 1%. 1% who says, I see you, I hear you, I believe you, and that can change something inside you. Because for so long I had been made to question everything, and then someone with professional experience essentially looked at me and said, no, you are the victim here, and that mattered more than I think I can explain. He went out of his way after this incredibly long interview. I was exhausted. It was late. I think it was around midnight or maybe 1 in the morning. And he waited for me. He waited until someone could take me home. He didn't have to make some enormous gesture. He simply stayed, and sometimes that's what kindness looks like. Someone staying, someone making sure you get home, someone saying at some point you are going to be okay. Even when they know it's going to take a long time. Even when they know the story they have just heard is completely insane to process. You have the right to say, I was a victim. And this is something I actually want to talk about, because I think there is a difference between acknowledging that you were a victim and building your entire identity around being a victim. You have the right to say, this happened to me, I was a victim, people did this to me. You don't have to minimize it. You don't have to pretend it did not happen. You don't have to immediately turn it into some inspirational story because that's more comfortable for everyone else. But eventually you have to ask yourself, where do I go from here? Because staying in that place forever isn't going to save you. And I never wanted the word victim to become an identity that I glued myself to. I wanted to acknowledge what happened without allowing what happened to become everything I am. And maybe that's the difference. You can say I was a victim without saying I will always be one. Simon to Simon. This is the funny part. The man I am talking about was Simon. And the person whose speech I am referring to is also Simon to Simon. And somehow that makes me laugh, because if you know me, you know I love zodiac signs, and I have no idea, but I have a feeling this guy was either an Aquarius or a June Cancer. And if you know me, you know those are very much my type. Not always, but very often. So, Simon, if you somehow ever hear this, thank you, I will never forget what you did for me. And then he said, what goes around comes around. That's probably the core message of this entire voice note. What goes around comes around. And if you know the song, you know. And then I thought about money. This morning I woke up with this feeling, and it's a feeling I wouldn't wish on anyone, because I was thinking about money. And I know what people say, money doesn't buy happiness, and for once I actually understand exactly what they mean, because yes, I am going to make money. I have been deprived of money for so much of my life. Best believe I am getting money now. And money is going to change things. Money is going to get me somewhere safe. It's going to give me the freedom to move into a home where I can actually live. And I deserve that. I should never have been deprived of those things. But then I had this thought. And then what? Okay, I have the money, I have the flat, I have the treatments, I have the freedom. And then what? What am I supposed to do with people? Because maybe the point of this life isn't simply accumulation. Maybe it isn't just get money, get a house, get successful, get everything you ever wanted. Maybe part of this experience is exchange, connection, other human beings. And that's where I get stuck, because I don't know if I actually want that. I've been isolated, monitored, controlled, exploited for so long. I have seen some of the worst things that humans can do to other humans. So, do I actually want to be close to people? I genuinely don't know. And maybe that's the part people don't understand when they say money will fix everything. No, money can fix some things. Money can buy safety, money can buy freedom, money can buy treatment, money can buy a home. But money cannot rewrite your memories. It cannot give you back the years you didn't get. It cannot manufacture trust. It cannot make you forget what you've seen. It cannot automatically make you want to open your heart to humanity again. So, yeah, I understand why people say money doesn't buy happiness, but money can buy something I right now thinking of: peace, liberty, and the ability to finally choose where I live. That matters a lot. What goes around comes around. I do believe that. I believe karma never misses an address. I believe what goes around comes around. And I believe that eventually people have to live with what they did put into the world. I don't need to control how that happens. I don't need to know when. I don't need to become obsessed with revenge, because revenge is God's. I just believe they are consequences, and maybe that's enough, because I have something they don't. I still have my soul. I still have the ability to care. I still have the ability to feel. I still have the ability to choose what kind of person I become after everything I have experienced, and that matters to me. I am still here. So maybe that's the real thing. Not revenge, not proving everyone wrong, not even money. Maybe it's simply, I am still here after everything. I am still here, and I am still capable of imagining a different life, a safe life, a free life, a life where I can wake up and not feel relieved because someone isn't in the flat, a life where waking up alone isn't a miracle. It's just normal. Maybe I just want the ordinary things I should have had all along: a home, healthcare, freedom, peace, kindness, a choice, a life. Anyways, I want a coffee, I want a shower, and I have absolutely no idea where this voice note went, But that's what happens when I start talking to myself. I will talk to you very soon, and I genuinely believe that something I said in this voice note resonated with some of you. Maybe you have your own Simon today. Maybe there was one person who appeared in your life at exactly the right moment. Maybe you still remember them. Maybe they were a stranger. Maybe they never realized what they did for you, but you remember, and maybe that's enough, because sometimes you just need one person. Anyways, I will be sending a next voice note to myself if you would like to hear it. And I just want to say, if you are listening to this, you are going to be fine. You are going to be just fine. Love you. Bye.